बोल प्रथम पूज्य गणेशी भगवान की जय। ओम विनायकं गुरुं भानुं ब्रह्म विष्णु महेश्वरान् सरस्वतीं प्रणम्यादो सर्वकार्यार्थ सिद्धये। गीता ध्यानम्। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। नमोस्तुते व्यास विशाल बुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायत पत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनंदन पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। First sloka of Bhagavad Gita. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samavetaयुत्सव मामकाः पाण्डवश्चैव किं कुर्वत Sanjaya. Go to the last verse of chapter 1. Sanjay uvacha eva muktva arjuna sankhye rathopastha upavishat विसृज्य सशरम चापम शोक संविघ्न मानसः. In second chapter, verse number 2, Shri Bhagavan uvacha कुतस्त्वा कश्मलमिदं विषमे समुपस्थितं अनार्य जुष्टमस्वर्ग्यं अकीर्ति कर्मर्जुन. Verse number 4, Arjuna uvacha. Guys, try to say the verses. We've been through these before, right? Katham Bhishma Maham Sankhye Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishubhi Pratiyotsyami Pujarhar Varisudana. So, as you remember, in chapter 2, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, listening to the Sandeh, listening to the doubt, listening to the grief of Arjun, now he has started to give his reply. I believe the last verse we stopped at was verse number 16, yes? Nasato vidyate bhavo. Anybody remember? Yes. So let's start from verse number 16. Let's say it together. Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sata, ubhayorapi drishtontah, tvanayos-tattvadarshibhi. Bhagavan Shri Krishna has started to explain this concept of what is real versus what is unreal. In English, we're using the words real and unreal. In Hindi or Sanskrit, we will say sat or asat. That which is truth and that which is untrue. Bhagavan Shri Krishna is called Satchidananda. Everyone knows this shloka from Bhagavad Puran. Satchidananda Rupaya Vishwotpatyadi Hetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Numaha. Satchidananda. There are three aspects to the Swarup of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, Bhagavan Shri Vishnu. Sat, Chit or Anand. And if anybody asks you, what is the definition of God? What is the definition of Bhagavan? What does what is the requirements for you to say that this Purush that I believe in is God, right? These days you have many new religions, many new philosophy, but this concept of Satchidananda, if someone or some Purush does not have these capabilities, then you cannot say that they are God. Sabse pehle Sat. Sat means Sata Swarup. Sata Swarup means the one whose form does not change. Our form changes. How we looked 10, 15, 20 years before, now we look different. As more time passes, we will look different. Our roop is constantly changing. Bhagavan's roop never changes. That is why his roop is called Sat Swarup. Sat Swarup. Chit. Chit means Chaitanya. Chaitanya is a way of saying one who is omniscient, one who knows everything. Sarvagya. Sarvagya means Sarvagyata. There is nothing in the world that is not known to Bhagavan. Right? Or Sat Chit Anand. Bhagavan Anand Swarup bhi hai. Bhagavan never feels grief. Bhagavan never feels pain. Grief, pain, sadness, suffering, these are constructs that Bhagavan himself has created for this world, for this Bhumi Lok, this Prithvi Lok, this Mrityu Lok, that we feel because we have a deh, we have a human body. But even when Bhagavan takes avatar and we say he came in Manushya Roop, he came in the form of man, still the body of Bhagavan, jo Bhagavan ki deh hai, is not the same like our body. Our body was made by Brahmaji. The body of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the body of Bhagavan Shri Ram was made by Bhagavan Vishnu. He made it himself. So there is difference in the body of Bhagavan, in the avatar, and there is difference in the body of the normal people. So Ananda Swarup. Bhagavan is constantly in a state of Anandam, always happy. If you look at Ramcharitamanas, then the question can come, but Bhagavan Shri Ram was crying and searching for Mata Sita in the forest. Seeing this Leela, even Mata Sati became confused. Is this really Bhagavan Vishnu? And when she went to test him, so immediately wiping his tears, Bhagavan Shri Ram smiled and bowed to her. And he bowed to her and said, Mataji Pranam. He recognized her as the Divine Mother, Mata Jagadambiki, even though she came in the form of Mata Sita. So he showed us that whatever shok, whatever sadness and tears and pain was there, it was just for the sake of Leela. Bhagavan does not feel sad, he does not feel pain, he does not suffer. Sat Chit Anandam. This is the Swarup of Bhagavan. Next shloka. So now you understand what is real and not real. I gave you many examples last year, right? You might think that this human sharir is real, now you know that is not real. Even this Prithvi Lok is constantly changing, so that is also not real. But the Dham of Bhagavan Vishnu, the Dham of Bhagavan Shiva, that remains the same all the time. So that is a Satlok, that is a real place. Okay? Next shloka, 17. Avinashi, boliye. Avinashi. Tu tadvidi. Yena. Sarvamidam tatam. Avinashi tu tadvidi. Yena sarvamidam tatam. Vinasham. Vinasham. Vinasham Vyayasyasya. See if you can say this. Vinasham Vyayasyasya. Vinasham Vyayasyasya. Nakaschit. Kartum arhati. Nakaschit kartum arhati. Bhagavan Shri Vishnu, the name of Vishnu means Yaha Viveshyati Saha Vishnu, the one who pervades the entire universe. We call Bhagavan, in English there are three words, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, right? So this refers to the omnipresent aspect of Divine Lord. He resides in every atom of the universe that He has created. I give you an example. In the ocean, you can say that all of the waves are contained in the ocean. Yes? So if somebody asks you, if you look at the Atlantic Ocean and then you say, Well, where is the separation between this water and the ocean? There is no separation. All of the water belongs in the ocean. When you are bathing in the ocean, even if you are bathing in like a smaller, like a stream that's coming out of the ocean, still the water is the same salt water. So everyone says that this is the ocean. I'm bathing in the ocean. So the ocean, the concept of the ocean, the ownership that the ocean exerts over all of this water, the same way Bhagavan Shri Vishnu, Viveshyati, he pervades through the entire universe because he is the one who made this universe. And that is why he is called the Vishnu. So Bhagavan Shri Vishnu says, this entire universe that is pervaded by me, means this entire Vishwa in which I reside, Avinashi tu tadvidi yena sarvam idam tatam. Know for certain that everything that I pervade, everything that I control, everything that I protect can never be destroyed. And he says, Arjun, vinasham vyayasyasya nakaschit kartumarhati. Know that no one is able to destroy this Atma. The whole point of chapter 2 is Bhagavan Vishnu, Bhagavan Shri Krishna is destroying the doubt of Arjuna. So he explains to him the same way that I am indestructible, the same way that I have Sataswarup. This Atma that I have created, this Atma that I have placed inside every living being a part of me, it is also indestructible. Avinashi. Vinashi means destructible, Avinashi means indestructible. So you have this sharir. This sharir then has indriyas, senses. Controlling the senses, you have your manas, your mind. Controlling the mind, you have your higher intellect, buddhi. And then above the buddhi, we have the atma. So sharir, indriya, manas, even the buddhi, these things are not indestructible. These will be destroyed with the body when you reach a certain age and you expire from this earth. But the Atma which resides inside and which is Sarvopari, which resides above everything, that is Avinashi. And that is not destroyed, that is simply transmitted. Anta Vanta Ime Deha Nityas Yoktaha Sharirinaha Anashino Prameyasya Tasmad Yudhyasya Bharata. Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the same concept he is saying. Arjuna, whatever you are seeing, understand what is destructible and what is indestructible. So when you say that you are going to be killing the Kauravas, you are going to be killing your friends, killing your family, and destroying them, you may be killing this body that they inhabit, but you are not destroying them. This is what Bhagavan Krishna wants to explain to Arjuna. You are not finishing them, you are not destroying them. No one has the power to destroy anyone else because I have designed this soul to be completely indestructible, right? Anashino prameyasya. That which is indestructible, you can't even touch it. You cannot alter it. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna is saying, because of that reason, Arjun, I encourage you to fight. Because all of these Kauravas, they have committed lots of pap. This pap is now attached to their sharir. This is their karma. They deserve to die. I have placed you in this position to fight and to kill them. You are worried about destroying them. But you are just a part of my Leela. You're only here to carry out this law of karma. If you do not kill them, then somebody else will have to kill them. I will have to kill them. I am using you as an instrument. Bhagavan Krishna, this is the grand message he wants to send to Arjuna. So, the question becomes, how do we perform our duty without being scared of pap? Because nobody wants to commit any sins. So Arjuna, later on in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna will use a phrase to describe Arjuna. He says, Arjuna, you are drashti dosha. Drashti dosha means one who is without sin. Even though you are a warrior and you are fighting and you are killing these people, ap drashti dosha. So, this is all part of this concept here, where once you fight on the side of dharma, once you fight on the side of justice and truth, then as a soldier fighting for dharma, you will not have any pap. That is why Bhagavan tells him again, Tasmad Yudhyasya Bharata. That is why I tell you, Arjun, you must fight. This sharir that they have, aaj nahi to kal, they have to die at some point. And I'm telling you, this is the Leela that I have designed because of their karma. They deserve to die now in this Kurukshetra battlefield. Ya enam veti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhauto na vijanito nayam hanti na hanyate. He says, Arjun, this is a very big misconception that you have, that you are killing them and they are dying at your hands. The Atma cannot kill, nor the Atma can be killed. What you are doing is all just part of the Manushya Leela. Najayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyah ajo nityah shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. This concept of killing and destroying, that which is never born cannot die and cannot be killed. Bhagavan Shri Krishna explains, I was not born. I was always there even before this universe. I made this universe. And these Atmas are just sparks of my Paramatma. They're just extensions of myself that I sent forth into this creation. And when I sent these sparks of life forward into this Vishwa, everyone had an equal chance. But then taking birth, everyone did different karma, and then based on that, punarjanma, they are born again and again and again. But it is a cycle. And even those who you consider to be mahapapi, even those you consider to be very sinful people, even they, after many lifetimes, if at some point they will reform and they will do some prayaschit, they can also start to come back on an upward trajectory. Arjun, this is an eternal cycle. And the main point that Bhagavan wants to emphasize to Arjuna, Nahanyate hanyamane sharire. When the body dies, the soul is not touched. So this concept is clear to all Hindus, right? Other more recent, more modern, more man-made religions, they don't understand this concept. They think the body is everything. The body is very important to them. That's why they will bury the body. They don't want to burn the body because they're scared of destroying this sharir even after someone has died. And some religions will even tell you that this body will come back to life one day when God returns or something happens. But I ask you to go to the cemetery, find someone who has died for 20 years and open the casket. Do you want to see what it looks like? Do you want that person to wake back up and come back to life and come to you 20, 25 years after? 3, 4 generations from now, when your great-grandchildren are alive, they don't care if the great-grandfather will rise from the dead and come back into their life. Everybody has their time in this world. You're living in a house, you give this house to your children, they make their own family, they make their own life. If you come back to life 50 years from now and come back, what is your role in their life? You're better off as a memory. So that is why we offer tarpan to 3 generations. Because we say after 3 generations, it is more likely that those pitras have returned back into this family. So we're not waiting for this physical body that is buried in the earth to wake up. We know that the pitras will return after 3 or 4 generations. That's why in Tarpan we never do more than 3 generations, because they may have left Pitralok already, right? So, Nahanyate hanyamane sharire. This is important to understand. Bhagavan Shri Krishna gives another shloka for the same concept. Veda vinashinam nityam ya ena. One second. शब्द है ये एनम ये एनम जन्म अव्ययम ये एनम जन्म अव्ययम Katham sa purusha partha kam ghatayanti hantikam. So he says to Arjun, once you understand this concept, then you are not worried about killing or destroying or hurting these atmas. You are just performing your duty as a kshatriya. This next slok is very, very famous, very important. Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya. Bhagavan says the same way that you change clothing, the same way you have new clothing, you wear it for some time, then you take it off. Navani grihanati naro parani. When these clothing becomes worn out and old, then you take it off and there is no attachment to that clothing. You don't try to fix it, you just throw it away and get new cloth. Do you fix your old clothing when it gets old, or do you just give it up and buy new ones? Tatha sharirani vihaya jirna anyani sanyati navani dehi. The same way Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, this Atma inhabits this Sharir for a certain amount of time. As the Sharir becomes older and degraded and starts to deteriorate, that Atma will move on to a new Sharir. When it leaves this world, firstly it will go into the other lokas. You will experience some parinam for your karma, some results for your karma. Then when you come back, I give you a brand new body. I give you a new Sharir based on your karma, based on your bhagya. Nainam chindanti shastrani. This Atma cannot be cut or destroyed by any weapons. Shastrani means weapons. Nainam dahati pavakaha. Dahati means to burn. Bhagavan Shri Krishna says the Atma cannot be burned by fire. Nachainam kledayantyapo. Kledayanti means to become wet. You cannot make the Atma wet. आप इस आत्मा को डुबा नहीं सकते हो. You cannot use water to influence its makeup in any way. Nasho shayati maruta. Pavan उस आत्मा को सुखा नहीं सकते हैं. The wind cannot dry this Atma. It is a pure tattva that we lack the ability to influence and change its state. Right? You can change the state of many elements. You have water, you can heat it up, it becomes vapor. If you make it colder, it becomes ice. Atma is untouchable. First of all, you cannot locate it. You cannot physically find it and touch it with your hands, but it is a real thing. In Bhagavad Puran, when Ajamil was about to die, and he called out for his son Narayan, so the servants of Bhagavan Shri Vishnu arrived there to save him. When they arrived, they saw Yamdut extracting the Atma out of the body of Ajamil. So it's not like it doesn't exist. We lack the ability to see it, right? In the ancient times, people would not have really understood what is the heart. They don't know like what is inside, and now with an X-ray you can see clearly the heart. So it was inside of us all the time, but you didn't know about it in the ancient days. So the same way, the Atma is inside of you. In some part in your body, this Atma resides. But we lack the technology, we lack the drishti to see it and to interact with it. And even if you can interact with it, Bhagavan is saying you cannot hurt it in any way. You cannot cut, burn, dry, or make it wet. Next shloka. Bhagavan continues in the same logic. Achedyo yamadahyoyam akledyo shoshe evacha nityas sarvagata sthanur achaloyam sanatanaha. First line is saying the same, cannot be cut, burnt, wetted or dried. Then this second line, nityaha sarvagata sthanur. Atma is nityam. Nityam means eternal and unchanging, unmovable. Achaloyam sanatanaha. It is eternal and it is completely fixed. Means there's nothing we can do to alter it in any way. Avyakto yamachintyoyam avikaryo yamuchyate tasmad devam viditvainam nanushochitum arhasi. Bhagavan says to Arjun, when you understand that this Atma is unmanifested. Unmanifested means iska roop bhi nahi hai. It's somewhere inside of you, but you cannot even see it or access it. When you understand that it is unchangeable, then Arjun, nanu shochitum arhasi. Then why do you grieve? Why do you feel pain? Why do you feel sadness in the face of your duty? Because you must kill these soldiers despite whatever relation they have to you. You know that what you're doing is right. First thing you have to understand is, on the path of dharma, aapko paap nahi lagega. But what if you're on the path of adharma? Every soldier is taught to obey the commands of their kings, the commands of their countries. But in modern society, we have international law, right? We have a Geneva Convention, we have certain rules that we have created based on our understanding of morality. So like we know we don't kill unarmed civilians. So two armies are fighting, soldiers will engage in soldiers, but you don't go into a city and start shooting civilians and killing people. That you will get pap. Even if you are on the instructions of your country, you will get some residual pap. The one who is giving the adesh to go and kill innocent people, they will get pap. And the ones carrying out that command, they will also get some residual pap as well. So Arjuna is not doing that. Arjuna is fighting an army. These are two armies fighting each other, and they are well removed from any city. There is no innocent loss of life in Kurukshetra. There are no bystanders. There's no women and children who will accidentally get hurt. So these are just two armies fighting each other. So Bhagavan Krishna is saying, there is no need for you to mourn, shok. There is no need for you to be sad, because you are doing your duty, and yahan paap nahi hai. Aapko paap nahi lagega, inko bhi nahi lagega. Even those fighting on the side of the Kauravas, Duryodhan and all of them, they have done lots of paap to come to this point. But in the act of fighting this battle with the Pandavas, there is no paap for them also. The reason for them fighting is wrong, but the action of fighting, they will not get sin for that. Because they are also Kshatriyas. And even though they are bad princes and bad kings, they will not get sin when they kill the soldiers of the Pandavas. But when, for example, Ashwatthama will go at the end of this war, and he will kill the sons of the Pandavas in their sleep, so he gets pap for that, because that is an act of adharma. That is not warfare, that is just murder. So you understand, right? Bhagavan Krishna is telling Arjun, without any grief, without any sadness, nisankoch, you should do your dharma. Atha chainam nityajatam nityam va manyase mritam tathapi tvam mahabaho nainam shochitum arhasi. Bhagavan Krishna is saying, even this concept that I have explained to you of nitya jatam nityam va manyase mritam, of birth and rebirth, knowing that they will have to go through the cycle of birth and rebirth. Again, you should not grieve for them, because most of them are reaching the natural end of their life anyways. I am just using you to wrap things up, right? The reality is, if Bhagavan Shri Krishna had wanted, he could have stopped this war. In Ramcharitmanas, Bhagavan Shri Ram killed Bali. And as soon as he killed Bali, Tara, the wife of Bali, came there with all of the queens. Now she sees the body of her husband lying on the ground. Or jisne mara wo wahin pe khade hain, right? Bhagavan Shri Ram is standing right there. Obviously she'll be very angry. The killer of her husband is standing right there. And in just one chaupai or two chaupais, Tulsidas ji explains that Bhagavan Shri Ram told Tara, he says, Devi, what are you so attached to? This body? If you are attached to this body, take it with you now. But do not grieve for the Atma of your husband. He has died a very honorable death. He has died in my sharan. He died in my protection. and he has obtained moksha. So there is no need to grieve. And Tara will be happy and she will leave and go back to the kingdom with great happiness in her heart. So Bhagavan Sri Ram very simply and very quickly explained to this widow the truth of the universe. You don't think that Bhagavan Shri Krishna could have explained to the Kauravas and explained to Dhritarashtra and explained to Duryodhan? He could have explained to them if he really wanted to explain. But the truth was, in the age of Dwapara Yuga, there were too many kings, too many kingdoms. And the Kshatriyas also had become very papi, they had become very sinful. And Bhagavan Shri Krishna is bhar ko halka karna cha rahe the. He wanted to reduce the burden of these Kshatriyas on Prithvi Lok. And he wanted this entire Bharat to become more like an Akhanda Bharat ruled by one good king, which will become Parikshit, Raja Parikshit. So, Bhagavan Shri Krishna did not want to stop this war. When he was leaving that morning to go, Draupadi came to meet him. She says, Keshav, I have taken a vow that I will wash my hair in the blood of Dushasan. If you go and get peace today, I will never be able to fulfill my pratigya. Bhagavan Shri Krishna smiled and says, I am not going to make peace. I am only going because if I do not go, then everyone will say, Dwarkadish ne prayasi nahi kiye. Bhagavan Krishna did not even try. He was on the side of the Pandavas and he wanted the Pandavas to get the kingdom. That is why I am going. Bas muh dikhane ke liye, just to show my face. So no one can say that the Kauravas and Duryodhan did not have every chance to make peace. Then Draupadi was very happy. This story is in Mahabharata. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna is saying, Arjun, this cycle of birth and death and rebirth, it has to happen. If not today, then tomorrow. I am making it happen now in this Mahabharata war, and you are the instrument of my Leela. Verse 27. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmada pariharyarthe natvam shochitum arhasi. In the last 4 or 5 shlokas, this is the third time Bhagavan Krishna is saying, Na shochitum arhasi. Bar bar Arjuna ko bolte hain, do not grieve, do not grieve, do not grieve. Bhagavan Shri Krishna is a complete master in how he designs these shlokas. And look at verse number 25, verse number 26, and verse number 27. What is the last word in each shloka? Na shochitum arhasi, na shochitum arhasi, na shochitum arhasi. Right? So he tells Arjuna again and again and again, you should not grieve. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur. It's a very famous line in Bhagavad Gita. Once you are born, death is certain. And once you die, birth is certain. With the exception of moksha. This is the law of this universe that Bhagavan Shri Krishna has created. Right? And for those children who studied physics, you know that there is a law as well called law of conservation of energy. You know about this law, right? Which means that Prithvi Lok is like a closed system. And there is no creation or destruction of energy. Energy just changes forms. So what have we been saying for 5,000 years, 6,000 years? We are saying the same thing. That there is no real destruction. Atma is just changing forms. There is no loss and there is no gain. Whatever Bhagavan has created, he has created already. He stopped creating. Now everyone is just going through their karma, going through their leela. So a question is asked by someone last year when we did this shloka. Why is the population of earth increasing? So there is a few different answers to this question. Answer number 1, there are many atmas who are going through different janam, and they're in Pashu janam, all of these kinds of janam. And as they slowly work their way up to Manushya Sharir, now they become added in the human population. And the second answer is, we do not know that Bhagavan is not creating new Atmas. Who are we to assume that he is not creating new Atmas? It is possible that every few 100,000 years he creates a few new Atmas and they're also coming onto Prithvi Lok, right? So this is why we're seeing massive increase, especially in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, where it is easier to do pap and easier to get punya as well. So that is why in Kali Yuga you see massive increase in population versus Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, Satyuga. Because it is easier to do good actions and to get punya. One more slok for today's class. Avyaktadini bhutani Vyaktam adyani bharata Avyakta nidhananyeva Tatra ka paridevana. Bhagavan Shri Krishna says to Arjun, everyone is unmanifested in their beginning. Shuruvat mein, you do not have a form. Then in the middle avastha, in the middle phase, you are given a form. You get this human sharir. And then again, when this sharir expires, you are in an unmanifested state. Means you have no roop. So Arjuna, do not grieve. There is nothing for you to grieve about. I simply expect you to do your duty, do your dharma. The dharma of Arjuna is to fight. Okay? We'll stop here at verse 28. We move pretty quickly today. Anyone have any questions about chapter 2? What Bhagavan Shri Krishna is discussing? Questions, anyone? Regarding Atma, regarding Punarjanma, regarding Papa, Punya, strength of the soul? No? Everything is clear? Yes? Okay. Let's do one shloka to Bhagavan Krishna and then we'll conclude class this morning. Om Krishnaya Vasudevaya Haraye Paramatmane Pranatah Kleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Nama. Bolo Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki, Bolo Gita Maya ki, Bolo Satya Sanatana Dharma ki Jai. Thank you everyone. Jai Shri Krishna. Class same time next week, 11 a.m. Okay. Please practice Gita Dhyanam, and whoever is not in the WhatsApp group for the Gita class, please join the group. Any last minute changes, we'll post it in that group only. Thank you.